Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayer's Live, page by page reading and commentary of the modern English version of the Bible. Today we're going to go into Exodus 17. And before we get started, I want to wish everyone out there a happy Easter. Water from the rock. All the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin from place to place, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people contended with Moses and said, "Give us water so that we may drink." And Moses said to them, "Why do you contend with me? Why do you test the Lord?" So they've been traveling everywhere, and wherever they are, there doesn't appear to be a water source. They're very thirsty, and as always, just like with the manna situation, they are complaining, the people. Even though they're free, even though they made it out of bondage, this tends to be a group that likes to complain. So they're complaining to Moses, "We're thirsty, we're thirsty." And Moses is basically saying, "Hey, what am I supposed to do about it? I'm not in charge of this party. It's God overseeing this. Talk to God about it." but the people thirsted, but the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses and said, "Why is it that you have brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" So they're really upset. Then Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "What shall I do to this people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord said to Moses, "Pass over before the people and take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand your rod with which you struck the Nile, and go. Indeed, I will stand before you there on the rock in Oreb, and you shall strike the rock, and their water shall come out of it, so that the people may drink." Then Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. He called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the contending of the children of Israel, and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" So it does seem in a way that God is guiding these people to places where perhaps they will encounter some issues with resources such as food or water, in effort to test their faith, test their allegiance, test their loyalty, and just to also see how tough Moses can be with them. Because again, this seems to be a group of people that does like to complain, and that does seem strangely ungrateful when it comes to being brought out of slavery, because every time things seem dire, they consistently say, "Well, why do you even bring us here when we could have just stayed back in Egypt as slaves, but had our convenience of plentiful food and water?" So it does seem as though God is trying to break these people of that habit of thinking that slavery is better than freedom. But let's continue. The Amalekites defeated. Then Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. Oh, so we have Amalek coming back. And many of you may remember him from previous chapters in the Bible. So Moses said to Joshua, "Choose men for us and go out and fight against Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand." So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought against Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. Now, when Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed, But when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands became heavy. So they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So laid low. So Joshua laid low Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this as a memorial in a book and rehearse it to Joshua, for I will utterly wipe out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." Then Moses built an altar and called the name of it, "The Lord is my banner," for he said, "For the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." Interesting. So, some could see the situation when it came to Aaron and Hur having to help Moses keep his hands up for his people to win as a metaphor. Some might see it as something literal, to where for some reason when his hands were up, the power of God funneled through him to help his people triumph over Amalek. Lots of interpretations there. But I'm going to get going. Thank all of you, anyone out there who chose to listen today to today's reading and commentary of the Bible. Tomorrow, we will go into Exodus 18 and we will just continue from there. The book of Exodus has, let's see, I believe it has 40 chapters. Yes, it does, 40. So we're more than halfway through it. More than halfway. All right, everyone, have a wonderful Sunday. Have a happy Easter. And the rest of this month should be pretty good. Pretty good. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.